Alright guys, today I'm going to show you this projector from ONOAYO. This is the ONO5 Pro. I'm going to show you what comes in the box, the features that it comes with, and I'm also going to show you some demo footage both in the daytime and at night. Alright, so if you are new to home video projectors, these are basically smart TVs without the screen. So you're going to be able to stream your apps like Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, Prime Video, and whatnot. As long as you have the Wi-Fi connected, this machine is all you need. It's also ready to operate right out of the box. You just obviously need to be able to place it somewhere. So for example, today I'm going to use a wall shelf already installed on my wall, and I'm just going to project it against the wall on the other side of the room. If you have a ceiling mount, obviously you can place it on that as well, but there is also a screw at the bottom. So if you happen to have a camera tripod that you want to use, you can just screw it on and you'd be all set. All right, and then you would just turn it on using that on button right there. There's really no other onboard buttons there. Everything is going to be controlled through this remote right here. This remote is going to have all your important functions like the auto zoom and auto focus, manual buttons there, the volume button, as well as quick shortcuts to the major streaming platforms. Now, obviously you want to get your room as dark as possible. This is going to work best at night, but if you are able to darken your room up a bit like I did here, I closed the shades, you can definitely use this during the daytime. So here's an example of me using my Nintendo Switch. And by the way, that is possible because if you look at the back here, you're going to have connections to be able to connect your other devices. So you will see 2 USB slots as well as 1 HDMI output. It does also come with onboard speakers that's going to be coming out of both sides there, but you can use a connection in the back, 3.5 millimeter connection to connect your headphones. This does also have Bluetooth capabilities, so you can connect your speakers that way as well. All right, but that's the basic physical features. So let's turn this thing on, show you what you can access through the menu as far as features, and then show you some demo footage. All right, guys, so it is nighttime now, so I just wanted to show you what exactly this thing can do. So I did just want to start off by kind of showcasing what it looks like. So here you can see just how clear it is, how the colors pop. Definitely great video quality if that's what's important to you. So here's kind of some sped up footage of this video just to show you a little bit more of what this thing looks like. Alright, but let's go ahead and take a look at the features available in the menu. Now, before we even dive into that, I just kind of wanted to show you how this thing acts when it's going to autofocus. So as you can see there, once you turn it on, it'll first autofocus and also auto keystone. So you'll never have to do that by yourself. It'll detect any sort of large movement and then autofocus from there. But you can go ahead and fine tune it using the remote control just by pressing on the plus and minus at the top of it and further autofocus it if you need to. Now diving in, as you can see, you're going to have your main apps at the top there and then some trending items below that and then some favorites recommended to you. If you don't see a specific app that you are looking for, of course, you can go into the All Apps feature right here and then you are able to just download it. So you can go down here to the App Store, click into that, and then you'll see here you'll have a lot more options that you can choose to add to your home screen. This is also a quick way to get to the screensaver to set up your Bluetooth speaker, set up the projection or the casting. There's actually even a browser that you can open up here, and then you can read the manual through the e-manual option there. All right, but as you can see, you can actually go also into live TV. So this is just ad-supported live TV, so you don't have to sign up for any sort of subscription. You're just gonna have to watch the commercials, but it's pretty cool that you can access all these programs for free. So here's just kind of a look at some of the stuff that you can take a look at. All right, great. Now you can access the quick settings by just pressing the settings button on your remote control. And that's going to give you these options here. So again, the very top ones there are for the keystone correction. So this is for automatic keystone correction. So you can just press that and it'll kind of redo it for you. You can also do it manually, and that's where you would move the corners by yourself like so, just to get it exactly right in the way that you want it. And then here is where you can zoom, which is really nice because with a lot of other projectors, you have to do it by adjusting all 4 corners separately. And here, as you can see, I can move the entire screen all in one go. And then I can press the plus and minus options to do a zoom in or a zoom out. This is where you would set up your internet connection, your Bluetooth accessories, such as your speakers. And then, as you may guess, you can change the picture mode here. So I've just been keeping it on the standard. That's what you've been seeing so far, but you can choose between movie, game, and even your own custom settings where you can change the brightness, contrast, saturation, and sharpness, along with a bunch of other features. And then there is the sound effects, which is essentially just the sound mode. So you can, again, same kind of idea, choose from standard, movie, music, news, and sports. But if you want to access the full settings, go ahead and click into the settings button. And this will give you just a couple more options. So the very top option here, we've already seen the auto keystone correction, but you can actually adjust the settings, such as making it so that it will auto keystone on the startup and auto keystone upon motion. So you pretty much just want those on. There's also the intelligent obstacle avoidance. If you have something in the way of the screen, it'll move the screen automatically. So that's pretty cool. Again, you can go into the manual keystone correction here, which we've already seen. The zoom and shift as well, we've already seen, as well as the focus. And then you can kind of restore to default by clicking on screen restore there. You can also change the projection type. So depending on how your projector is positioned, you can change it so that the screen flips up and down. All right, under display and sound, again, we've seen the picture modes. You can even enable low latency for gaming, which is pretty cool. Sound output, you can change between the built-in speaker or any Bluetooth devices that you may have. Sound effects we've already seen as well, and system sounds just refers to the beeping whenever you are moving around in the menu. So I keep that off. Again, right below that is going to be the internet settings, so you can set up your Wi-Fi there. Below that, you can change the signal source, but under the global settings here, you can even change the startup source. So once you turn on the projector, you can have it by default go to this menu or whatever's connected to the HDMI. If you have HDMI plug and play, it's going to do that automatically as well. Here is where you can adjust the Bluetooth settings as well as adding the actual devices. Finally, down here is just the About menu. The About section is also where you are able to update the system or do a factory reset. And you can update the system right over the air using the online update option. You can turn the screensaver on here. You can put a sleep timer on, change the date and time, the language, as well as check the privacy and user agreement. Under advanced settings, it's just settings for Netflix, so you can sign out or terminate it. If you do want to change the input, there is the input button on the remote control, and then you can switch between HDMI or USB depending on what you are wanting to view. All right, guys, so I hope that helps you decide whether this one is right for you today, but if you're looking for really good video quality and a super simple, easy to use setup and installation, this might be the right one for you.